Hey there, welcome back to the second episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. This one is not as delayed because I was only supposed to cook this one yesterday. It is called Ham, Feta and Tomato Quiche. Here's what we need. It will serve 4. So we're cooking this one in the oven, and we're just basically putting everything into a quiche pastry flan doodad thing and cooking it. But come on in and I'm going to talk you through the rest of it. Okay, so we need 2 sheets of short crust pastry. Now, however, I really can't see the sense of using 2 sheets when one does fit. And if you cut the corners, you can actually shove them in there. Now, this pastry has been in the freezer for a bit too long. I don't really care though. The main thing is I've got it on the base. So this is a trick that my ma showed me. She said, don't use 2 sheets, use 1, and then you're not wasting it. Because to do 2 sheets, you got too much overhang and it's a waste. So if you can make your own pastry, which sometimes I do, it's a lot easier. But today we're just doing it this way. So 2 sheets if you want, if your dish is a bit bigger, or 1 sheet if you feel like you're just wasting it, which is what I said. 100 grams of chopped ham. Now this is a good one for using up all your ham that you probably got left over from Christmas. I didn't have that problem. I brought 150 grams of ham, which I've just chopped up. So I got to have a little bit of ham, and that's the leftover, 100 grams. 100 grams of feta cheese, which I've crumbled. There was a 200 gram block. 100 grams of semi-dried tomatoes chopped. I was going to chop them, but they're in slithers, so they're actually fine at that. 4 eggs, which I need to beat up anyway. And half a cup of thick cream. And when I read the recipe, it told me I need salt and pepper. So there they are as well. Okay, the salad to serve. Yes, the salad's still sat there. I had a look at it. I think I can salvage it. So my dinner tonight is actually going to end up being lasagna, quiche, and salad. So I've got a good dinner coming up. I'm getting to it. So our first step, I don't like doing this because my dish is one that Mama always told me don't go from hot to cold because you'll crack it, and that's stuck in my head. So if you've got a metal dish, you can do this step. I'll talk you through it. Use pastry to line base and sides of a 2.5 centimeter deep, 22 centimeter base fluted loose based flan pan. Now I had one of those. It rusted and went to shit, and it's in the bin. It's long gone. I don't know how long it's been gone for, but it's long gone. So that's the one where you can basically lift it out. I've got a cake pan that I don't know how old it is because I remembered using it when I first started cooking. So it's old, but good quality. So if you're going to buy things like that, if you make a lot of quiches, I would suggest go and buy a good quality one so that it doesn't rust or warp, or I can't remember. I think the one that I had, I brought a cheap one and it rusted, so it went in the bin. If you've got one of those, you can do this. You're basically just lining it and then you're putting it in the freezer. Now, to me, that's just putting it back in the freezer, which is where it came from, of course, because that was already frozen. Freeze it for 10 minutes or until pastry is firm. Well, I've had this out all day, and short crust pastry is very thick. It's also very crumbly on that side anyway. I've popped the oven onto 200. It also told me to preheat the baking tray, which once again I'd be putting something cold onto something hot. I'm not going to do that. However, you can do that if you've got the correct tray. So we're going to I'm just going to put mine straight in for 10 to 12 minutes or until light golden. Now you should put a few holes in the bottom to stop it from rising. And I'm actually just going to get rid of these little shitty bits here because they're no good. It's from when I defrosted the freezer, I think. And obviously pastry does not like to be frozen and then defrosted, so can't do much about it, unfortunately. This is why I don't always like buying frozen pastry. You can't really do much about it at the end of the day. It is what it is. It's good for if you time. I won't say lazy because you're not always lazy. A lot of times you're time poor and you just want to make something. So it's not for lazy, it's for time poor. If we work on that, then that's an encouraging way of looking at it. Once you do make your own pastry, though, you'll think, why am I using frozen? But once again, it's a time thing. This is a lot quicker doing it this way. So I'm going to pop this in the oven for 10 minutes or until it's golden, and then I'll be back. Okay, now while that's going on, we don't have to just sit here twiddling our thumbs. I'll move that knife out of the way. My washing up pile is getting huge, but that's my problem, not your problem. Okay, so grab a jug, because what we are going to be doing is the ham, the feta, and the tomatoes are going to go over the top. So like you're making a pizza, basically. So that's those three. They're taken care of. Into this jug, we need our 4 eggs. Now, I always crack the eggs one at a time into a cup, because then that way I know if there's any issues with the eggs or any shells, which I've been pretty lucky for a while, and I don't want to jinx myself though. 2. Just going to chuck those ones back in there actually. And the eggs are good to go in your compost bin if you've got a compost bin. And apparently many years ago I was told they're good for keeping the slugs and that away from the flowers as well. So crumble them up and put them around your garden. Alright, so 4 of those are in there. Let's get rid of these because we don't need them anymore. Okay, and I always use cage-free eggs. I think the next lot I got were barn-laid, which I guess hopefully that's still cage-free. You pay enough for eggs. I don't want to get a chicken because I don't use that many eggs. And sometimes chickens are a bit stupid as well. Whisk it up. Add in the cream. Now we want to get that little bit of cream out, so what we'll do is we'll put a bit of that into there just to sort of help deglaze it a bit. Get a spoon. I've put all the spoons away. I figured I'd start and clean up a little bit. Alright, that's deglazed it a little bit more. Okay, as much salt and pepper as you like. Personally, because ham's salty, I wouldn't put much salt in. I'd go with more pepper, but that's up to you. I'm also trying to watch my cholesterol, so I don't know what salt's got to do with cholesterol, but anyway, lots of pepper because I love it. There we go. Give it another whip. Alright, so we're about 5 minutes off being ready to bring this all together. So I'll see you soon. I've just popped it on for another 5 minutes because it's still white. So I'll see you soon. My dish just made a little noise. I hope it was just the pastry, because I'm going to cry if this dish cracks. Okay, I'm not going to look at it. I think it's okay. I've just turned the temperature down. All right. Cross your fingers. Right, it's on 180 now. So what we do is we need to just grab these and pop these on. I'd use a fork once you've put them through a sieve, just so that we make sure that we don't get any unnecessary oil in there. So I'm going to drain these first. And I can pop these over this. And then just spread these all about. Maybe I gave the case a bit too long. That's okay though. You do want it cooked. There was once when I did a quiche and I didn't cook the pastry properly. Let's just say my ma wasn't very impressed. So I normally use my baking beads, but it didn't tell me to use them today, and I didn't want to use them, so we're even on that one. Spread those about. I think I can hear my little residential king parrots that come to visit. I don't mind them visiting, it's the cockatoos. For those of you that don't live in Australia, cockatoos are the white ones with the yellow crest. Seemingly adorable. They're a menace. They don't just peck seed, they peck timber. They ruin things. King parrots are cute though. Google them. You'll see them. You'll see why I say they're adorable. I'll feed those any day of the week. And the rosellas. They keep my boys amused too when they're awake and on the hunt. They're indoor cats. Oh, and it's just starting to pee down again. This will cool everything down. Wow, I just went down to the garage in the nick of time, literally. All right, so you've got ham, feta, and tomato. I knew it had to be going to rain. It's just been so hot. Well, they do say this is summer and it is Australia. Even in the Blue Mountains, we do get hot days. Okay. Over goes this. Spread it all about. Okay. Now we want to cook this for about 20 minutes or 25 at 180, but I'm going to only cook mine for 20 minutes. Once that's set, we're done. So I'll see you when that's set. Okay, so I gave it 20 minutes. I could smell it, which if you can smell something cooking, that's always a good indication that it actually is almost done. Popped it out of the oven. My oven is not always well, it's not fan forced, but sometimes when I put it on the correct temperature, I always give it the lower side. I've stabbed it. This is set, so 20 minutes was all it needed. So there you go. This has been Cooking with Violet Vixen, ham, feta and tomato quiche. I really hope you enjoy it, and I'll catch you on the next adventure. Hit subscribe because you never know when I'm going to upload. Bye.